Howdy, this is Hudson Hank, here today full of snot, gut rot, and buckshot in a race against time. The only race old Hank has ever graced, as a matter of fact. I was placed in this race because in less than 7 weeks, old Hank will have survived 26 Earth years in this bloated body. An accomplishment in its own right. I was able to keep this engorged heart pumping the cream of tomato soup around my veins for this long, but it also signifies the end of an era. 26 is the magical age when humans no longer require medical or dental care according to the Affordable Care Act. At 26, children are no longer allowed to stay on their parents' insurance plans and are finally forced to fend for themselves. This is a rite of passage for residents of the Hudson Valley and the United States alike. Old Hank has long prepared for this day by getting himself in tip-top physical, mental, and dental shape before the clock strikes midnight on this free ride that has been my life for 26 carefree years. Sure, some people will say being 400 pounds with a head full of cavities and insecurities is not healthy, but I just don't think there's any science to validate those claims. Old Hank still has 7 weeks to get his affairs in order, and just because I haven't done that in 25 years, 45 weeks, 3 days, and 17 hours, doesn't mean I won't make the most out of the next 1,157 hours. Because old Hank is always prepared, I have 10 handy tips for healthy living for those that find themselves recently uninsured. Tip 1 is to make sure you're always at the proper level of intoxication. It doesn't matter the delivery system, whether it be whiskey, wine, or if times are truly tough, Windex will work just fine. Keep in mind though, 2 ounces of streak-free shine equals a buzz, while 14 equals death. Being intoxicated is an imperative part of uninsured living because the recently uninsured can't be going on costly vacations to the ER for every bump, bruise, or bone spur. As we all know, sober you can't take a tumble like drunk you can, so be sure to be properly cushioned with liquid courage. Tip 2 only applies if you have leftover antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, or antipsychotics. Just go ahead and sell them to the highest bidder because you no longer can afford prescription medications. It's best to go cold turkey and start a new regimen of self-medication ASAP. Tip 3 simply states that because you will no longer be able to see a dentist regularly, it's best to be proactive. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That being said, you should go ahead and pound every tooth out of your head before they get a chance to rot and cause infection. Tip 4 may be a continuation of Tip 3, but it's equally as important. Once your teeth are out, post an advertisement on Craigslist for your recently removed teeth. Craigslist is the preferred method of connecting yourself to creeps that will pay top dollar for a set of human teeth. Tip 5 tells you to remain constantly vigilant as the world is now your pharmacy. For instance, if you go over to an acquaintance dwelling for a Tupperware party, take a peek in their medicine cabinet and down a few pills from each bottle to keep yourself topped up. Tip 6 warns that holistic treatments are now your best bet. Be sure to keep old family remedies handy, like the cure for syphilis is mercury injections into the genitalia, so keep a couple thermometers on hand just in case you need to get rid of a few pocks on your cock. Tip 7 reminds you to kill all bacteria and germs on the foods you eat. Old Hank recommends everything taking a dunk in a deep fryer before it hits your salivary glands. Also, be sure to always purchase the cheapest cuts of meat available because they are chock full of free antibiotics and steroids that'll keep you healthy and strong for the long haul. Tip 8 is only to be used if a disease or dismemberment should befall you so grave that the previous 7 tips I have graciously given fall short. If you should find yourself in this predicament, just commit a crime and get yourself thrown in the clink because prisoners are required to receive medical attention. Tip 9 has to do with the fact that you will now be unable to receive flu vaccines or stay up to date on immunizations. To combat this, just skulk around dumpsters behind doctors' offices, pharmacies, and anywhere else you find needles being used. There won't be much medicine left in a spent syringe, but if you inject the remnants of several needles, you will gradually get a full dose over time. Old Hank's 10th and final tip is one we are all aware of, yet choose to ignore. If healthcare is simply something you feel you can't live without, you can try your luck with literally any of the other 33 highly developed countries that have universal healthcare. Just be sure to steer clear of the Republic of Zambia, and it'll be a healthcare upgrade from the stars and bars. For all my fans born in '93 like me, my heart goes out to thee. We are all adrift in a sea full of health issues, student debt, and social justice on a life raft made of ramen noodle and office reruns, watching the sturdy ship of childhood sail off into the distance. Old Hank is a complainer by nature, but right now, I'm too drunk to care that our raft is about to be punctured by the jagged cliffs of reality. Old Hank might have a heavier load to bear with my sleep apnea, thyroid disease, hypermorbid obesity, alcoholism, mullet-induced mania, turf toe, trench foot, hoof and mouth, vitamin D deficiency, depression, leaky gut syndrome, gluten sensitivity, rickets, gingivitis, and shy bladder. But I'm sure we all will find a way to stay alive just long enough to die. This has been Hudson Valley Hank. You can take it to the bank. Sleep peaceful, sweet valley of mine.